Hey guys, how's it going? Today we got another video helping someone with LED Blinky issues. His name's Tyler. He's on the line now, so say hi, Tyler.
Hi, everybody.
So the other day we attempted to do this. We probably spent like what 2 hours on the issue, and then we realized that it could be just an issue with the fact that it's not a full version of LED Blinky yet. So he was running the trial version. He went out and got a license, and then we're basically going to be testing things from scratch today. Now that we have the license. Now, did you already enter the license into the software?
Yes.
Okay, so it's already there, so that's good. Let's look at LED Blinky now. If I remember right, we get to let's go over here to the movie screen, and we're going to go ahead and make sure this is scaled up, which it is. Okay. So now we went into Launchbox, and in Launchbox, we go to LED Blinky twice. And now we have wait for my icons. There we go. So let's pull this up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try to use that blank animation we set up yesterday. And then we will have this checked for the flash with player credits and all that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go save that. And then we're going to go into the controls editor because I know we manually put in something for Ultimate Edition yesterday. So let's pick that right back where we were on that and go cancel on this. What was that?
It was Ultimate Mortal Kombat, UMK3.
Yeah, I was just checking because I thought I saw something there, but it wasn't anything. So UMK3, we can hit U to skip down to it. So now we have this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this name so that it's not, yes, we're going to edit the name. And what that warning was saying was that by changing the name, it won't match, and therefore it won't be found. Well, that's exactly the purpose we're trying to do. Instead of deleting these settings in case we do need to revert back to them, we want to set it as the old file. So that way, if it doesn't work, we can put it back. So we're going to go ahead and save this. Now, what should happen this time is we're going to go ahead and launch it, and it should not have the, well, it might actually pick up from the colors file. We'll have to find that out. So let's go back over here. We're going to do, and I do wish it would search by the game name too, but we got to type in Ultimate Mortal. Ultimate Mortal. Oh, we're in the PlayStation. That's fine. Go up here and say all. There we go. So we're going to launch that, and then we're going to, in a minute. So sorry, can you show me the keyboard, please? Okay, so the colors are working, and the joysticks are red. Hey, that's instant progress right there, buddy.
I know. These two are still out. So that's the ones that we're going to be doing with the blank animation, right? That we were talking about?
Well, what we're going to check is because before, hit escape, please. And it still says Steve from Indiana. This is not Steve from Indiana. This is Tyler. So ignore the part there. So in any case, let's go now to your. So the where that color now got picked up was it got correctly picked up from this colors file. And again, like I said, we want to kind of live in the colors file as much as possible. So now you can see this is where we defined our joysticks as being red. Now the second joystick, was it blue or was it red?
No, it was red.
Oh, we still had. Okay, we still. Do we? Yeah, hit escape for me. Oh, it's not escape. Never mind.
tab?
No.
It's weird though, because
Let
my
me
keyboard's
see.
not working either for it. I can
Oh, config
control
menu.
with my keyboard keys, but I can't go with my joysticks now. So I wonder if my joy code changed because of me adding the Xbox controller. Like you're
That
saying,
will screw things up unless you've statically mapped the controls.
so that's what you were talking about the other day, like how to go and get them to go and stay put. I had gotten it to sort of
Mhm.
stay put by just not adding anything new, and I added something new. So
Exactly what we talked about. You said,
wow, wow, wow.
no. It's been
Yeah,
fine for years because I just don't
yeah,
change anything.
yeah. Look at me.
Okay.
So well, let's see if I can go and even map any controls to it then, and I'll find out if it actually has changed. Um,
Let's go.
let me
Okay, so one moment. First off, I do see why the config key wasn't working, and that's because he somehow got rid of that since our last time speaking. So you have escape cancel here. Also press the button. Press the button you want to be your escape or your quick game.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
changed to Joy 4 now. That's what happened. Look at that.
Okay, so this is going to take on another realm of difference. Go ahead and let's now you only have one Xbox controller, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to now do a combination of assistance here. And what we're going to do first before we do anything is I'm going to go over here and trigger my thing to think I have a copyright strike against myself. Go find the command for the mapping the stable ID in my video.
What a pain in the butt. It bumped it off completely.
Yeah, and that's one reason that's just really annoying about not having the ID stable.
Is this going to happen every time I turn? Oh, I mean, would it happen if we don't go and do the fix every time I just turn the Bluetooth controller or the
Yep,
Xbox controller on and off?
yep,
Jeez.
because it enumerates the devices in a random. It's not consistent unless you if you when you introduce new devices or changes. Okay, so
Hmm.
that's what I want on my video there. So in here, what we want to do is okay, so we're gonna browse, we're gonna go to your command prompt. Do command prompt. And we're going to first figure out what the hell it is that this thing is mapping. So we're gonna go to here. So we're going to that location for MAME, and we're going to do MAME. We're going to, I'm sure you probably know Galaga. We're going to do test text. So we're going to let this launch. Hit spacebar, please. Okay, now hit escape.
Not going, but I did map the controller, so let me just.
Okay,
I'll press
hit the
the.
control, right? Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do test text to make the file pull up. And this is a listing of what's been going on. So here's all of our devices. Okay, so we have multiple mices showing up, multiple things. Now what we can do is down, where did it say what it mapped things to? Yeah, there it is. So Joy 4 showed up as, where did it map in here? Didn't say Joy 4 that time.
Yeah, weird. When we mapped it for Mortal Kombat, or when we were just mapping it in the UI, it came up as Joy 4, but here it's showing the GP Wiz, what I've been using for all my arcade games
And
and
now
some of my consoles.
we don't know which I'm trying to think here. We don't know which. Okay. My brain's okay. So
I
because your
care.
controller, your keyboard emulation, you have them set as all buttons, not keys, right?
I guess so.
Like normally what would happen is in MAME with the keyboard emulator, it would come up and it would show as a key, not as a joystick button.
Uh-huh.
So that means your mapping is done with joystick button. Now, what I'm looking through here, so you have a HID keyboard device right here. You have mouse. And what I'm looking for is I'm making sure. So this here, a lot of this string has the same ID, the same product ID. I'm looking to see, okay, so then that one is, okay, so that's for the aim track, because I know the code 1601 is part of the aim track. And then you have these mice here, and this is a duplicate of this. So anytime we have any duplicates of any kind, that make things difficult.
Right now I have a regular mouse for just using this as a computer, a regular keyboard using it as a computer. I have a trackball, and I have two light guns, two aim tracks that are hooked up right now.
Okay.
Right now I also have this.
All right. Well, actually, let's do this. I know what we're going to do. An easy way to get this solved is we're going to rerun. We're going to delete that test file we just made. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and relaunch this way. And hit space. And then hit tab.
Remember, I can't because we didn't map it again. So, and my other map one doesn't work either. So we have to go and map it to something. Otherwise, I can't get into the config menu.
Okay. So the button didn't work this time?
For tab, yeah, because we haven't, remember, it's still how MAME is seeing my keyboard now.
Okay. Try hitting escape. Okay, so what we're going to do then first is just... Actually, I should be able to do it without the Galaga game. Yeah, I think that'll work. That might be a new way to introduce the way to do this. Let me make sure that it did generate the input I want. Okay, so it did add it with no game loaded. That's good. That actually makes things easier on us. So we'll delete test text. So what we're doing, just to catch you up to where my head's at, is we're going to launch MAME. And at the time that it's launching, it's recording what everything's getting mapped to. And right in a moment, we're going to take each of your controls and on a notepad over here on the side, I'm going to be documenting what's correlating to what, and then we can compare it back in the file. Make sense?
Yeah.
So we're launching MAME here, and now we're going to go into configure options or return configure machine. Nope, that's for the game. I know better. Okay, configure options, general inputs. We're going to go to user interface, and we're going to always make sure when we map a button that the keyboard command is still there too. So go ahead and hit tab real quick.
Oops, sorry, my bad. Click it again, or I'll just press delete. Sorry. There we go.
Okay, so the button you pressed that got you Joy 4, what is that physically, that button connected to?
It's connected to a button. It is this button right here.
And it's connected to what?
The GP
hardware
Wiz.
wires.
Oh, it's connected to the GP Wiz 40.
Okay, and you have one or two GP Whizzes in there?
Just one.
Okay, so that's the GP Wiz. Okay, so then what we're going to do is you already have a pause in here. Your escape key. Actually, let's go over to, this would be your up button. Okay, so that's now saying it's Joy 4 is again GP Wiz. Okay. And then so all of your panel buttons then are going to be mapping to GP4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the main buttons on the arcade panel in front of me.
Okay, press escape, please. Okay. So what we want to do then is we're going to want to map all that stuff once we've got it defined and set statically. Otherwise, what we're going to do now is we're going to just get the information about the other devices. So we got to find the meaningless setting to borrow here. Let me see. Let's use. Okay, so we got to remember that fast forward equals insert, so we can put it back. So pick up your light gun. ID whichever your first light gun is.
Not sure which one is which because they're kind of packed away here, but I'll pull this one out and see what it says. There we go.
It's physically connected?
Physically connected, yeah. It should. Normally it goes on. Maybe. Let me check something. Oh, here it is from. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Just want me to click the trigger?
Yeah. Now let me hit enter on this again. Or it's weird, it's not registering it. Hit escape. Okay, let's try. Yeah, that should have worked. My keyboard's not responding. Okay, with your regular mouse, try to double click fast forward. And now move the mouse with the gun.
I can see the little cursor moving around.
I know. It's very weird. Okay. What other controls do you have on your arcade? You have the trackball, so let's move the trackball.
Okay. Moving around, having a good time.
It's not picking up any of the other mice.
I can move my regular mouse on the keyboard, or I mean just my regular.
Yeah,
mouse.
it's not picking up any of your mouse inputs. What about the trigger on the gun? Well, you tried that, but you have it mapped as a mouse device, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, trigger works, the little solenoid kicks.
All right, go ahead and hit escape. All right, so what did we do here? What happened here? Escape. Yeah, gonna go here, and then we're gonna look at miscellaneous options. Show mouse pointer. Okay, hide ROMless machines. Device mappings. Whoa. Ah. Hold on a minute. Let me turn on my arcade.
Everything reset to being keyboard except for the mouse. Weird.
There's a whole lot of no going on here.
Yeah.
Get my
The only thing I've done, I mean, I paired the Xbox controller. That's it. It's bizarre. I can't believe that one thing reset everything.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is you're coming from no, you didn't have Hyperspin, you had Launchbox. Or did you previously have Hyperspin and you went to Launchbox?
I mean, I previously had Hyperspin, but when I did Launchbox, I did a completely new install.
Okay.
I copied all the files into the Launchbox folder. I didn't use any of the old settings from Hyperspin. I finally actually just trashed Hyperspin too.
Gotcha.
Get rid of it.
All right, well, let me get my machine connected here. All right, and we're going to now go into my MAME. to apps, emulators, MAME. This one in here. And we're going to go to configure options, device mapping. So we want keyboard, mouse, keyboard, keyboard, and then the rest mouse. So first, third, and fourth should be keyboard. Rest should be mice. So this one should be, it's weird, it won't take my input in there. So move that to mouse, please. And then go down to paddle. And move that to all the rest of them to mice. And then return. Save. And then let me check if any of these, nope. And then advanced options. Where's your multi-mouse? Multi-mouse needs to be on. Let me check on my side. We don't want multi-keyboard, I know that. Let me see advanced options. Okay, so then.
No, light gun is off on mine, so should I move it to
Well, hold on. I'm procedurally going through mine.
Gotcha.
To make sure we stay on the same. Literally stay on the same page. Input maps, not that. We are in advanced options. And then we scroll down. Okay, so we want multi-keyboard off, steady key, and UI active off. Okay, that's the reason why this won't work. So we want mouse on. Let me move my VNC up to the side so I keep flipping back and forth. Okay, so light gun definitely needs to be on. Multi-mouse needs to be on. Steady key off, off, and then off-screen reload needs to turn. And then control keyboard is off. It's off. Deployed impulse is off. Okay. So now we go to previous menu. Save this. And now when we go to general inputs, it should be able to pick up those things it was missing before. So we're going to go down to, what was the insert button again? That was down too far. Couple. There we are. All right, so light gun, move your mouse. Or light gun, move it. Try trigger. Let's try to see if maybe we have to reinitialize it after we make that change. Hit escape. And escape again. Escape again. And we're going to save for good measure, and then we're going to close, and we're going to relaunch this. So I'm wondering if having those options not selected in the beginning could have been causing us issues. Oh, why is the screen black? There it goes. Okay, so now we're going to delete test again. And we're going to relaunch with the command that we had. That one. And again, we're just looking to get a good baseline of what your controllers are currently mapped for. And we're looking for fast forward. Okay. Try it with the gun. Okay. Did you see that come in?
Yeah.
So we have now. So which gun would you say that is? The first player or the second one?
Well, it says gun 2X, so
ignore that.
I honestly have no idea because they're both kind of bundled up. I haven't been using them, so they've been bundled up in.
Are you going to consider that player 1 or 2?
Let's just call it player 1. It's fine.
Yeah. And then we're going to do the same thing now. We're going to hit delete on that, please, to clear it. Okay. And then set that gun down on the ground and pick up the other gun.
Okay.
And once you're ready, you're going to hit enter and move that gun around.
Okay.
Hit enter and then move it. Okay, that is gun 5. See how random this shit gets?
Yeah.
So this is going to be gun 1, and then this gun 5 is going to be what we call gun 2. Now what I want you to do is press enter and pull the trigger on the gun for gun 2. Okay, so that is also registered. You've got yours configured that the buttons are part of the gun versus an extra mouse. So that's why we're checking. Now just put that gun down and you're going to do the same thing on the next gun. Oh, actually, sorry. Pick that gun back up.
Okay.
And this time you're going to hit enter and then you're going to hit one of the buttons on the front.
Okay, nothing. Neither of the 2 buttons on the gun did anything.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, okay.
So it took it as all part of the gun. Okay. We're going to clear. You're going to put that gun down, pick up your original gun. And you're going to check the buttons on that one too. And the reason why is because you can configure your guns where they could be mouse and joystick emulated. So we're just making sure what they are. Okay. So hit enter again and then hit those buttons.
Nothing.
Yep, there they are. Oh, those are mouse movements. Okay, try to hold the gun still while you do it.
Nothing.
You're pushing the buttons on the end of the gun?
Yeah, the 2 red buttons, one on the left, one on the right.
Push one, then the other.
Yeah, nothing.
Interesting. There it goes.
That's only because I pressed the trigger and I moved the gun when I did that.
Okay. So those buttons are not doing anything.
Yep.
You have the okay, so you need to look at that gun. So go ahead, let's quit out of here. Go all the way out. And before we go any further on that part, let's pull up the Ultimark software for the guns, and we're going to look at the configuration of the guns to make sure they match. So we should be able to put in Alt. There we go. Requires upgrading. Well, if we want to. Okay, so you have, oh, these buttons aren't defined. That would cause it not to work. Okay. Yeah, so those 2 barrel gun buttons you don't have defined as anything. Let's see. What we could do is just say the trigger. Yeah, this is what I normally do. Gamepad 1. Let me look at mine just to make sure I'm not crazy. My game is to return the previous menu, and then we're going to go exit. Let me put this over here so we can. I'll see what I'm doing. So on my arcade, where's my SUI? That's Winnipeg. This should be game track. All right. So for mine, I put my devices higher up so that all my guns aren't plugged in right now. Damn it. 1 second. Well, my guns are currently unplugged. So what we're going to do then is we're going to also cheat and look back at my old video for my answer. Let me see where I had these. This was for just mapping the IDs in general. So I need to look at my aim track video. Figure your guns. There they are. I need to mute it. All right, so there's mine. Okay, so yeah, I do have it set. It's GP1, 2, GP1, GP2. And we're going to say Y. Then make sure also, obviously, you have the calibrations turned off because that gets annoying if you hold the button too long and it tries to calibrate. Okay, so yeah, that was the issue. Is your buttons just aren't defined here. One moment. This is Chuck. Hello. You a scammer for car warranties? No, just hang up. Okay.
Why is it the car warranty of all the scams to go and run?
I know.
It's the same one every single time.
Yeah, it's bad.
Come up with something new.
It's funny is my government phone all the time gets Japanese people or Chinese voicemails. All right, so we have the guns. Now we have the buttons defined, so they should show up. We're going to go ahead and we're going to delete. Actually, what I think we'll do is I'm going to just change the command. So it'll delete it always first.
Nice.
And then options. General inputs. Oh, I need to make sure that we saved the changes last time with device mappings. That's saved. And then advanced options, that we have everything still turned on and off appropriately. Yes, we do. Okay. So that's confirmed. Now, we're going to look at fast forward again. So the first player gun, go ahead and move the mouse on that. That's being picked up as gun 2. And then now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to check the buttons on the end of the barrel.
Okay. Want me to press delete?
Yep.
Okay. Pressing enter.
Now you don't have to aim it right now. Just hold it real tight to your chest so you don't get movements. And then press the buttons.
All right. That did something.
Okay. So that is Joy 1.
So left button on the left side, if it's coming out of my chest, is button 0, and then button 1 is on the right side.
Once we've gotten it stabilized, it won't matter.
Oh, okay.
Now you're going to pick up the put that gun down and pick up the second one.
Yep.
And we're going to clear out that setting.
Okay.
We're going to hit enter. And now you're going to move the mouse. Okay, well, we found out Joy 2. Buttons are Joy 2. And then now move the mouse to make sure it's showing up as what? Okay, so that is still gun 5. Okay, so gun. Get a little out of order here. Buttons are gun 2. And buttons are Joy 1. Okay, so now we've got the guns fully mapped. We know which one's going to which. So now we're going to hit enter and just press one of the buttons on your panel.
Okay. Let's see.
So Joy 4 is still your panel. Okay, so then here, let me get a Joy buttons for gun 1. This is player 1 gun. And buttons for player 1 gun. Making sure I don't get myself confused here. So right now, gun 5 is player 2 gun. The Joy 2 is coming up as buttons for player 2. Okay, and then Joy 4 is the GP Whiz. And then we have, so go ahead and clear that and hit enter and spin your trackball. That's mouse 3. Okay. And then what other controls do you have on your system?
Okay, so I got my regular keyboard. I have my regular mouse that I use for moving around in Windows.
Let's go ahead and let's figure out what the mapping is on that. So go ahead and hit the button and then move the mouse.
Okay.
That's mouse 4.
Yep, that's the regular old mouse.
Okay. And then what else? Do we have a spinner?
I don't have a spinner. I have just a keyboard, my keyboard.
That doesn't map into a specific device, so that's fine.
Okay, I have a Super Nintendo USB controller.
Okay.
That's hooked in.
Let's press the button and go up down on that.
That's Joy 3. So this is the one that is now become my panel, or it was my old panel.
So this is the NES Classic, or it's a SNES?
SNES, yeah. It's just a cheaper
now,
USB controller.
Hit it again and hit the buttons, one of the buttons, to make sure that it's doesn't have any dual mappings. Okay. So that's definitely Joy 3. What else do you have?
This Xbox controller.
Okay. Let's is that connected right now, or is it you have to connect it?
It's connected. It was off for a second though, so I turned it back on. Want me to try and then see if it does anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, that's fine. Hit escape. I'd rather get these devices mapped nailed down first anyway. So now we're going to go ahead and clear all the way back out to DOS. Okay. And what we're going to do is we are now going to go and look at that test file. And we're going to see what was assigned. So see, yeah, joystick 3 was the GP Whiz. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go look at my shrink that. We're going to look at if I can copy paste into here or not. Let me go look at my config files for my MAME in the controller folder. And we're going to have, that's what I need. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do another notepad file. New. Good. It allowed me to paste straight to you. That's good.
Cool.
So then what we're going to do is we're now going to look at over here. You have, so the 1603, that's because I put the higher mappings. This is 1 is going to get gun code 1. Yeah, we're just going to do these mappings fresh. That's fine. Because we only have 2 guns, so we want to have 1, and we're 16. Oh. It is, right below it is 1602. So 1602 will be gun code 2. And then the correlating thing here is 1 and 2. Actually, yeah, so joy code 1 and 2 will be the guns. Let's actually make this higher. Let's do 6 and 7. Or no, let's actually do 8 and 9. And the reason why is because they'll be together in the higher range. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we have a track. And again, we're just looking at basically this is what the label is. So it's going to basically find this match and then just dump it straight to that ID. Now, these were the ones for the other part. Now, these are my controllers. They're specific to me, but you should have, is that an aim or the trackball? Is that Ultimark?
I think so. I think I got it off of, it was a HAP one that I got actually off an old arcade thing, and then I got a little interface chip, I believe,
Okay.
from Groovy Game Gear. It's
Okay, so it's not the same. That's fine. Let's see. So we have the GP Whiz. Let's always have that be joystick one because of that's your main thing for your system, right? So let's
yeah.
do uh GP Whiz 40 will always be joystick one. So that's the thing is when it gets this list from Windows, it's randomized, which is why you get that issue of the joysticks jumping around weird.
I see.
So now we're gonna have this here, and it's always going to be Joycode 1. So in the list, we're going to put it up higher just to keep things nice and pretty and organized. And then these gun codes go with these. So let's put them together again, nice, pretty organized. And these are going to be at the bottom of your list, so we'll move them down. None of that really, the order doesn't matter because you're specifying the codes. Because what's happening is basically when these codes aren't defined, it randomly gives it as it, or it gives it in order that it sees it, which is why when you move the devices around, it sees it in a different order. So by specifying this, what MAME is doing is it's saying if it sees these things, assign them and occupy those reservations before handling any other random devices. So let's see. We have mouse code 1. Now this one, again, I was tracking on this side where your devices were. So your system mouse was being detected as mouse 4, which over here, if we look for what became mouse 4, it was this one that has this ID, which actually mouse 4 that's the gun. That's the address of the gun, I thought. Let me see. Mouse ID 1602. That's the second one. So why did it?
Yeah, there's 1601 right up there as well.
Yeah.
Mouse 1.
Hmm.
I thought mouse 4 for some reason was the trackball, but I guess not.
The trackball was mouse 3.
Mouse 3, okay.
And let me see if that. Okay, so anyway, let's try this. So let's do. We're gonna want the system mouse to be the first mouse to be the. If that's what it's saying it was, let's just put in. I thought PID 1602 is. Yeah, PID 1602. That's the gun code. All right, what we'll do is we'll get the rest defined and we'll come back, but we'll leave room by using leaving mouse 1 available. So let's delete mouse 1 and we'll check it after we get the baseline stuff in there. So the trackball was being detected as number 3. So mouse 3 would be a PID of CO50. PID CO50, right? From right here.
Yep. That's it.
And then what else did we have already? So we got the 2 IDs for the guns down there. These are my extra controllers here. And
we had the
your
Super Nintendo controller, which was Joy 4 or Joy 3. I'm sorry. Yep.
So we're going to put this one as, again, we're going to put them up in the higher numbers. That way they stay, there's less likelihood for them to conflict with randomly created devices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the lower IDs will be able to kind of jump around. Except for GP Whiz, we're going to put that as number 1 always. So the Nintendo controller was Joy 3, which is right. Oh, I know what's happening. Ha.
counting
know it's
0 as
happened.
1?
No. I know it's, yeah, you have to increment it by one number. That's why. Now, the aim tracks, we've already got, those are correct. But the GP Whiz then was showing up as Joy 4, which is why in here, that's the GP Whiz, right here. Which, if we look at down here, I'm thinking that's the ID for the GP Whiz. We can also check this because GP Whiz is specifically named. We can go into computer management as administrator. Did it prompt you for a password?
Not yet, no. Nope, just popped up as the computer management thing.
Okay.
I actually don't even have a password set up on this computer, so it should be fine.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is, this should be named. Normally coming in here is a pain. Nope. Damn it. Inputs. There's nothing in here with the name GP is, right? Nope. Let's look in the game. Where's, okay, control panel. I'm pretty sure, I'm just trying to get a visual confirmation. I like doing that when I can. Let's see.
That's good. I don't ever remember seeing GP Whiz personally. I always remember it being as like a USB universal interface device or whatever, but
it's just a keyboard or a device emulator. Yeah. What I was looking for though is there should be like game controls or something. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Altamark, OptiWiz. The hell?
The OptiWiz is what's the converter for the old SuzoHap trackball to be able to be read as a mouse on the keyboard or on the system. I'm sorry.
This is.
Yes.
Okay, I still can't look at that setting. Damn it. All right, what's in here? Device and printers. Does it show up in there? Okay. So GP Whiz. There we go. Properties. Hardware. Okay, so that's the USB controller. So we're going to go in here. We're going to look at the details. We're going to look for hardware IDs.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So PD035. Now, did that show up here at all, or is it a different level? 035. So 35 is not the ID that it's using, but you can see it right here. Mm-hmm. Okay, Joy Whiz, which is saying 3. Yep, but during our test, the GP Whiz came up GP. Yep. So during our tests, GP Whiz showed up as number 4.
Yes.
So the reason why I'm worried about that is I'm just confirming that it is incrementing the way we thought it was. So now we know we can correlate the IDs correctly. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want to just go off on a whim and say, oh yeah, it's incrementing everything. Let's just roll with it. I wanted to make sure that it is truly incrementing. So GP Whiz, we will always have the code of 1 going forward. The USB gamepad, so whatever was registering as Joy 3, which was the SNES.
Yeah.
So this here, as long as you don't plug in a second one, that's the only downside is if there's multiple of the same name, they duplicate. Or they don't recognize them separately and they get mixed up no matter what you do. So
that's good to know. So say down the line, I do have like an old NES controller that I use sometimes when I'm playing TurboGrafx games. If I do plug that in, am I going to have to manually go in here and assign it a different Joycode number than the computer would automatically assign it?
Or well, if they both show up in here as USB gamepad, then you'd have a problem. But if it was a different brand, it may have a different product ID.
Okay.
And unfortunately, you can't just reprogram, what that ID is. I wish you could, but USB gamepad, so we will always have that one be Joy 7. And then the system mouse that came up as number 4 means the mouse 3 in here. So this is your system mouse. And that, and I'll always have that be mouse 1. So mouse 1 will always be this. Okay, so mouse 1 is the, I'm going to update on here. So what I'm doing is on this little notepad file I have here, forced to mouse 1. SNES is going to be forced to 7. Forced to Joy 7. And then what shows up in here as number 2 is the trackball. Yep, which is OOB. And then the trackball, let me see, where's my document? There's mine. We're gonna forced to mouse 2. We'll let that be on the lower number, always in the second slot.
Okay.
What here? Yeah, so your computer mouse will always be 1. Your trackball will always be 2. And the 050, was that your mapping or mine? I think that's yours. 050 is what was showing up as 4, which didn't we move that mouse? What was 4 is 046D. 046D. Yeah. So that was moved. Okay, so force to mouse 1, trackball's force to mouse 2. 3 was the CO50, which is, oh, I grabbed the wrong damn thing. Okay. CO50 is the, see, I grabbed the VID up here.
Right.
VID is vendor ID. PID is the actual product. Okay,
Gotcha.
so 2 we don't need. 3 is 1501. Now 1501 is that? Or is that my mapping?
It must be yours. I think because my guns are 1601. That's what I'm guessing.
Well, mine is 1603 and 4.
Oh.
But let's see. Okay, so
I don't see any 15.
player 1 gun is now forced to gun 8. Oh, we haven't defined your guns yet. Well, we have, but we didn't type it in here yet. Player 2, what was gun 5, will be forced to 9. Buttons for gun 1 are going to be gun code 8 and gun code. Actually, those are backwards. Let's put them in the order. So the aiming and everything is the gun code. The buttons are the joy codes. So we want to have the mouse functionality or the gun code functionality first. Okay, so let me go back over to here. So gun 2 is now gun 8. Buttons are now forced to joy 8. The buttons on gun 2 are now forced to joy 9. The trackball is forced. Okay, that one's forced. The NES is forced to 7. So GP Whiz is the only one I'm not sure I finished yet. Yeah, GP Whiz is forced to joy code 1. 1. Okay, so I'm going to put this information on your document or on another notepad for you just so you can just so you have it for history, this is what we did. Save. Note about old to new mappings. Now the key is, so the problem is before